Hello. Oh my god, my neck broke. Welcome to a few days short.
Hello, you broke something.
We're doing something different today because I wanted to, and apparently nobody was around, so we're gonna do this anyways. Uh, do a little bit of world building homebrew stuff just for fun. Me and Mr. DM are here.
Uh,
We have a document in front of us that he keeps changing.
Can't prove anything.
No, of course not. I'm sure I could if I really tried, but
You
I'm not.
just make sure I couldn't. But, oh, whatever you want to do that.
I'm not going to do it.
My edits are necessary.
Okay, as long as they're necessary, that's acceptable. Some music in the background for stream, all from the Dark Fantasy album. So have fun listening to that. And we're gonna get started. How do you want to start, boss man?
Well, maybe start off with like a
Reading
brief
what I
summary,
wrote
kind of the ramblings of what you gave me last night.
Yeah. Okay. So, I've been working on a tabletop system, very sparsely, but I have the groundworks of what kind of people here live here, exist here, and what they can do. And I kind of just wanted to start building out a world so I could see if that would inform the system in some ways. I have general ideas for a couple of the main like kingdoms, empires.
This is a low fantasy, like
Yep.
beginning of the Industrial Revolution kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just so you can have an idea of what to picture in your head when we're talking about all this. I had to ask for some clarification about, like, okay, is this like fantasy? Is this Star Wars?
Yeah, no. I still want, like individual craftsmen to be a thing that's available, but the conflict of them starting to realize that people are trying to phase them out, I think is an interesting. I like that as a contention point per story if that's something that the group wants. So that's kind of why I picked that time frame, because a lot of stuff changed from the individuals doing things and making things to mass production in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
Your magic system.
Oh yeah.
As it's described top there, the 3 types of people.
Mm-hmm.
Because each of those people have 2 wolves within them.
Yes. Yeah. So doing my plan is to do a system that does, we've got the 3 groups, like I said, elemental wielders, I'm currently calling elementalists, people that can manipulate basically what the world is made of. So materialists, that's like earth, plants, blood, kind of that, and then your everyday people. And then the character creation and leveling up system will let you pick skills or abilities from at least 2 of those groups. I don't want...
Is this going to be like a skill-based thing,
Yeah.
or class-based?
It'll be more skill. But like if you pick to be an elementalist, you'll lose access to materialist skills. If you want to just be a person, then you wouldn't have access to either. But if you choose to be an elementalist, you can pick like oh, I want to actually be a trained soldier that can also shoot fire. So that's kind of the plan for the skills and the level up advancement process.
So if you don't have anything, you become one of the two. But if you're one of the two, you can't have the other kind of magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, yeah, it'll be hopefully have some good myths and legends like Danny DeVito built into the world, because like that makes sense.
Came from my elementalist powers, but then I started blasting.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Where do I want to start today?
Well, we're working on the world building aspect of it, so not let's not think about the rules, because I mean your world can
Yeah.
like the world can reflect the rules, or the rules can reflect the world. So if you feel like the world is more important, especially since this is going to be kind of a hard setting for your rules, it sounds like, at least pretty hard, then I would say work with the world first.
Yeah.
And let's build off 3 types of people, perhaps. Uh, Particular events that have happened in the world, like maybe what happened to bring these elementalists and materialists into the world, or like were they always here and now just being phased out, or
Oh,
what?
okay.
What?
Yeah. So I think I don't know right now if I want to set like a hard, this is how these things existed, but I do. One of the cultures that I wanted to make, I'm just going to name number one because I don't have names right now. I wanted them to be like their primary, like, I guess religion's the closest thing I can think of right now, is that their whole thing is that they worship the past people and the acts that they've accomplished. So kind of like
Ancestral worship.
yeah, that's a good.
So that can be like something more, I guess, kind of Viking kind of thing in a way. They honor their ancestors, or like, uh, I can't think of the name. Uh, with the words.
Yeah, I was thinking of
Oh,
the way that like uh in our like saints end up existing. It was like, oh, they did a thing, and now we say
okay.
you're in charge of this type of thing. So that was kind of where that was. Like, there's old stories of
And I'm guessing people in this culture aspire to be like these heroes and saints of the past.
yeah, yeah. Like, so yeah, that's kind of where I was thinking. Like the stories of elementalists completing feats that are unheard of in today's, creating great cities from walls, monuments, those kinds of things. Stopping stopping
Yeah.
floods, like those big, combating acts of nature. There we go. don't know if I don't know. I kind of like leaving where did they come from blank, because then you could do whatever you want with it.
Now, at some point, I would give like some examples of some of these heroes and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like right now, it's probably a little early unless you got some in mind already, but definitely give people some ideas.
Yeah.
So the conflicts in this world, aside from just political things and stuff like that, like outside forces, like monsters and stuff like that, is that a thing in this, or is it just people?
So I want there to be, yes, one of the people that's not really considered a saint that I know I want to create that has impacted the world. Doesn't have a name. I'll just call him Creator.
Just call him Chris.
No, thank you. That's a little conceited for me.
Please, other writers have put weirder stuff in.
Stories are.
Look at the Made RPG. the writer actually puts himself in there talking to his OCs.
That's pretty funny.
The funnier part is, I hear it's actually a decent system.
Yeah.
Narrative play and stuff like that. So
nice.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. There's this dude that I want to be this kind of like weird, mysterious individual that I like the idea of like people telling like, oh, the boogeyman stories about this dude. It's like, oh, well, you know, the imps are gonna come get you because blah blah blah. But
so crazy wizard is crazy doing things.
yeah, essentially a dude that from let's see, from outside of world, unrelated story, a dude that figured out how to combine the sets of powers from both types of magic, and that let him create things, not just manipulate what exists. So you're the meta knowledge of this dude. Use both. Just ended up being, so your creatures of legend. And then your spooky stuff. Because I want there to be like rare occurrences of like Phoenix. That's not how you spell that word. And like I don't remember what they're called. But these kind of like
These things do stuff.
yeah, well, like your giant serpent thing. There's what was the other one that I was thinking of? I don't remember what they are now. And then yeah, your monsters and
Now you have ghouls and shades here.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of creators, let's talk about the other end of that, death. Like, is this, or also I guess kind of beginnings? Is this a world where there's gods, or if there is gods, are they like involved,
Um,
or is there just like something made us, but we're we're just here on our own, and or is it just like none of that matters?
I had initially thought of yeah, I hadn't thought about it from a like external to the story standpoint. There was a
Mhm.
culture that I wanted to be very like um monotheistic. Like they have a god that they decided somewhere in their culture is in charge. It, it um
Now, now, a question for that kind of thing, like, is their religion technically correct? Like, does that deity exist, or is this something that they believe exists? Something like there's
yeah,
actual evidence for, or is it simply just a belief system?
I hadn't
But
thought about it.
some things do it to where, like, if enough people believe in it, then it becomes reality.
Yeah.
Kind of like Warhammer orcs in a way.
Yeah.
Like, if they believe this, like, if they believe that the hermit that lives in the mountains is like a deity or something, and like enough people believe it, like maybe he gets like enhanced powers or something like that,
Mhm.
just simply because of that belief, or enough people believe that there is a deity or pantheon of deities out there, then that pantheon actually comes into reality, essentially. That's something for you to think about. Or it could just be like, yeah, these people believe this, but they're not real. Ugh.
Yeah.
Granted, for how your story works and how it's a lot of, seems like it's going to be a lot of people that are essentially ordinary people
Yeah.
that are shaping the world and everything. Like, maybe you don't need that.
Yeah,
Have
I had gone back and forth with that the culture where it was like definitely the belief is there that group of people that haven't figured out the background of it yet, but they have a god that they worship, that they call a god, um, not necessarily a creator god, but a god that they've chosen. Um, and I liked the idea of having it be like, oh, you know, depending on how you look into this, you might find out or find points or things that point you to say, well, this thing that you worship as a god may have just been like an elementalist a really long time ago.
okay. Like, there's likely some truth, but like it's not entirely factual. It's just okay. Here's something else to think about that might help you figure that out. When someone dies, what happens? Do they just die? Do they? Does their soul go somewhere? Is it
That
reincarnation?
is
What happens when someone dies?
that is a thing I have not thought about.
Some how this sounds like this ancestral worship and everything. Maybe maybe a reincarnation kind of thing. be neat. Like great heroes are reincarnated every so often.
Mm, yeah.
Like it's not necessarily them, like they're their own person, but like this child born has the soul of a great past elementalist or materialist, or just chucked down the street, got reincarnated after he was hit by a horse.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And whoever's in charge of the reincarnation just felt sorry for him. It's like, yeah, your soul's getting another chance. Go out there.
That, I mean, yeah, because that could be interesting too, because you could use that to play into your historical cycles. Everything runs in a circle. Being interesting.
If you think about the aspects of death and how that comes about, that might help you figure out like how these deities and stuff work. If they are real, or is it just something that happens? And how do they find out? For Avatar: The Last Airbender, find out if Aang was the Avatar, but they knew there's a cycle of, okay, now it was a firebender, now it's going to be an airbender.
Yeah.
So did we have a hunch that this particular child that was born at this time seems like a likely candidate? So give him some time and give him an option of several toys, and these toys all happen to be toys that were selected in previous lives because he like subconsciously remembers them.
Yeah.
Or it can just be like I didn't watch The Legend of Korra in its entirety, but I saw like the first few episodes. I know like the first episode, like, okay, we know that the next avatar is a waterbender, so here we are. Okay, we heard that this family here might have it. Oh, okay, here comes a little girl who is spitting fire and earthbending and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, that might be her.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure, yeah, she kicks down a wall that's made of stone and then shoots fire at people and shouts, "I'm the Avatar." I'm pretty sure that's how that worked.
Yeah, I'm the avatar, and if you don't like it, get over it or something like that.
Yeah.
But like it can be like one of those two things, or it could just be that no one really knows. Like they until later on in life, like maybe if I remember this place. Why do I remember this place? Kind of like a deja vu kind of thing.
Yeah.
It could be interesting for some stories and stuff. Like if a player has one of these reincarnated souls, like you go to an area in a story or world, and your GM's like, yeah, you're not sure why, but you remember this location, and like you know where this particular thing is. Like you seem to remember there's a stash of old treasure buried beneath this destroyed house or whatever.
Yeah.
The player's like, oh, why do I know that? The DM just shrugs. Ooh.
Maybe you'll find out later.
That could be something cool for the GM to be like,
Yeah.
okay, I want my players to secretly have these reincarnated souls. That could be pretty fun to work with.
Mm-hmm. It leads to interesting possibilities too. Like if you do that, you could have a bad guy that's trying to stop it from happening.
Yeah, or maybe bad guys that were strong enough, they get reincarnated or something, or whatever.
I don't want heroes being reincarnated, just myself.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. And it fits kind of with what I was thinking, too, because then the whole, like, this culture may just worship a dude that was just really strong a long time ago.
And like these different cultures find out that, oh, this person has the soul of this great hero that we worship. He's now our leader.
Yeah.
Let's put all this existentialism aside for a moment and look at the setting itself, like the current time and everything. Like, what's some of the stuff happening in the world right now? Got your industrial evolution going on. Said that.
I've been kind of stuck on wanting it to be like at least to start with, or one of the plot points to be like a war story kind of. Some people are fighting because at least there's contention. It could be it hasn't started yet, it's in the middle, whatever. Like that doesn't really matter, but
like you can plant the seeds of these, like all these empires, kingdoms are against each other.
Yeah.
But then yeah, it could be like you could set up the particular game in a Cold War kind of state. Like they're right on the verge, and if someone slips up, all hell's going to break loose. Or it could be in the middle of actual conflict.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just kind of, you don't really need to put that in the world necessarily. That's for sure happening.
Yeah,
but at the very least, just have the tensions there.
Yeah, building the tension points or the potential conflict in belief, whatever is going to be the thing that ticks it off. But making sure that stuff exists.
I mean, also being in the Industrial Revolution, that means that some countries are going to be getting more, and they might be making something like, oh, that country found out how to make a lot of really good guns really fast.
Yeah.
We need to be on high alert.
Yeah.
What's that thing flying overhead? Oh, a biplane that has a bomb strapped to the bottom? Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's not going to drop off at any time.
Yeah.
I think it could go really dark and just essentially turn into World War I.
Yeah, I don't think I want to start there, but
at least get the tensions to that point. Like,
yeah,
hey, this could all hit off. It could become World War I.
Mm-hmm.
So some guy could be going to get a sandwich and notice that someone's taking a car ride down the street they shouldn't, and be like, "Ooh, I'm going to start a war."
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, that is how World War I started.
Yes.
No cap. I just said no cap. Excuse me, I gotta go cleanse myself.
I think part of what I wanted to do is like the ancestral worship culture is very much like, oh, elementalists, materialists, these are amazing. I kind of wanted one of the other cultures to be like, we don't think so. We think those people are, affronts to nature.
They're witches.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here we go. Witch trials, come on. There's your attention.
Yeah, there you go. The things you can do is not
natural. I'm voting the witch.
Yeah. It's like, I almost like that idea being with these guys, because then you're like, oh yeah, you're a little
like
fanatical in your belief of this one thing that is, or potentially is, not what you think it is.
I mean, with these three groups of people, the elementalists, mentalists, and normies, that can steal, like, with the right precedent in that person's life and the right people pointing that person's life out, kind of leading them,
Yeah.
that can inspire a lot of fear to cause just a regular person who doesn't have these magical powers to be like, yeah, that is very scary knowing that my neighbor, if he got mad, he can just burn me and my family alive because he has the ability to cast fireball.
Yeah. So, where do I put this stuff? Tensions.
So I guess it kind of depends on the level of that. Like, is there a small community that's starting to do that? Small, like numerous communities popping up that believe that, or is there like a full fledged kingdom like that has popped up to rid the world of these individuals?
Okay. Yeah. I had originally thought of one of the cultures that was not this one would have been the witches. We don't believe that you are natural born beings. You're, which is a cult, the weird bad stuff. But then I also wanted to have a group or a movement that was that same idea of that was not based in one of the nations. Like, it's not a national thing. There's a movement that's happening in the world at this point in time that says
Okay,
these
like
people
with
are
the
bad.
rise of the industrial revolutionary thing, normal people are getting power to actually have similar abilities to these individuals, right?
Yeah,
So now it's like they're feeling a little more confident with themselves.
they feel like it's the revolution, industrial changes are leveling the playing field. So yeah,
And with a community like that, you're going to have a counter to that, uh, both peaceful and violent.
mm-hmm.
Have a group that is trying to say like, no, 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 we can live together. We've done it all this time. We can figure out what to do. And also you have the ones that are like, oh, you want to do away with us? Well, we want to do away with you. And maybe that particular group, maybe the elementalists, the materialists have been like, okay, yeah, you guys haven't had any powers for all this time. We're above you anyways.
Yeah.
Let's face it, in a realistic world, if someone had that power, they chances are they would use it for the wrong reasons. Like, I'm not saying like it's 100% guarantee, but there would be enough people that do that
Yeah. There would be
to do
people
that kind
that
of thing.
would do it for their own gain, for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Those
People are the bad guys, by the way, if
yes.
anyone's listening.
Yeah.
You're supposed to not like them.
That's the point. But I really wanted that idea to be there because, like, even not just thinking about, oh, this dude could burn me down, like the materialists, the ones that are, blood body focused,
They
like
can outright control them.
that. I mean, you, depending on the skill progression, what skills you give somebody an aneurysm, they're dead.
Yeah.
I think about it and you died. Like, those
Yeah.
people are terrifying to someone that just
That
is
is,
like,
but at the same time, there could easily be one who is essentially a doctor who's actually using that technique to help
yes.
people.
Yeah, exactly.
But
The
the problem
opposite
is
side of
like,
that
oh,
is,
you're using this blood magic. That means we don't like you. Like, yeah, you may have saved the entire village's life several times over, but no.
yeah. So that contention I knew was going to have to be a thing because of the powers that existed and the difference between those two groups. I'm gonna have to come up with names for all these things, though.
Yeah, the names can come later after you kind of work it out a little more. You could write something down and it's just like hit you. Oh, it's the silly ninnies.
And then, so there's then one of these. I'm just going to label this one. Also. Philosophies?
Here's we'll throw in there. Blood materialists that essentially become vampires. We drink blood, we'll get stronger.
Yeah. that is definitely an option. Gross and bad, but yeah, an option.
Whether or not that actually gives them powers.
Yeah, it's been interesting working on the skills and what I want to do. I've thought about a bunch of stuff that I'm like, I don't want to put this in the create a character section. I feel like I'm gonna have to have like a create your character 1 through 5, 5 through 10, and like split it up that way. You should not be able to do this at level 1. Regardless of who you are.
This is going to be kind of a slight class system of just like blocking certain things off, and then it turns into a skill tree. Then who's to say that someone can't have something that's really powerful, but then absolutely suck in absolutely everything else?
Yeah.
Like, yes, you can easily like collapse a watchtower with the touch of your hand, but yeah, you can't do pretty much anything else.
Can't fight anyone in any other situation ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I like Konosuba. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but like one of the characters, she's an explosive wizard, and she only can use one explosive spell, and it's like insanely powerful. Right after she's done.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, like stuff like that's an option. Like, yeah, you can dump everything into this, but you're probably not going to have a lot of fun once you use that one thing you're good at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's how I've been leaning. I've been grouping skills. So it's like if you want you to get to this one, you have to do at least these two first, kind of thing.
Yeah. And you can also work it like on that skill tree have talents. Like you have to buy it multiple times over to get to these powerful things.
Yeah.
In that character creation, you can only choose tier 1 of like 3 talents. That's what I have for my Western game.
Mm-hmm.
You can't choose the same talent to go into.
Yeah.
Very beginning of the game. So that way you have some diversity.
Yeah.
You're not going to become crazy stronger off the bat.
Yeah, I've been trying to do that and trying to find a way to balance the non-magical characters and go, okay, well, in a fight, like, yes, you're not going to be equals depending on your, where you're at, like how you set up the fight.
Yeah.
If your dude's real good with a sword and the other dude's a fire elementalist and you're 100 feet away, that dude with the sword's probably going to die.
Yeah, like
But if you get ambushed,
it's all about playing smart. Yeah. Fire guy's probably going to be able to get off a good hit or so, but like if you can close that gap and you can stick a knife in his stomach or whatever, whatever.
yeah, especially if yeah, I mean, and then there's the whole like, well, do you care about the people around you or not?
Yeah. Like it's fireball.
Yeah, just light everything on fire and hope that it helps you.
Yes, I killed half my allies, but the bad guy's dead.
And
Mission
I
accomplished.
survived.
No one important dies. If you want to think durability wise and everything too, for my Western game, I have it to where every character has pretty low hit points, but you also have wounds. So after they lose those points, they see if they take any wounds, and then they just reset.
Oh yeah.
So it's really easy to die in this game. So it's all about playing smart. So the smarter you play it, the better off you'll be.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like, yeah, that random guy who's stealing my cows, he might get off that shot that ends me.
Yeah. Yeah, I have been came up with 2 different ideas for health for this system, and then I don't know which one I want to do. So I kind of stopped trying to think of that until I figured out like how the rest of the system was gonna work, because it was like,
Yeah.
do I want people to potentially die from one hit or not? Like what are we trying to accomplish?
That depends on how big the hit is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I could show you some more in-depth stuff for mine. Might give you some ideas later on.
Okay. Derailed.
Yeah. This is all just crafting stuff. Of course, it's gonna get off the rails.
Yeah. Finally writing the stuff down, which is a big difference. Thinking about it, so
Like just to stay off the rails. Like at the beginning of the game, you essentially have 3 health bars, and a sniper rifle can take out 2 of those hit bars instantly.
yeah.
So yeah, you can be nearly one shot or just outright be one shot.
Yeah.
If it's a good enough hit, but
Yeah.
like it's one of those things like it'd be rare to happen, and you have other stuff to not get hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the ideas that I was thinking of is I think it's similar to another system, but like once you go down, your health goes to 0. You can choose to die, or you can choose to essentially just go berserk for as long as possible and try and kill everything around you. So,
Yep.
Make a check. If you pass the check, keep fighting, regardless of what happens.
Fabula Ultima has a thing where if your character dies, it's a very narrative heavy, and like the players get to choose a lot of what happens.
Yeah.
Like they get the option, like, okay, you can go down in a blaze of glory, you commit to one act, and you sacrifice yourself to complete that act.
Yeah.
Or you can just die or whatever. That's got some fun things I'm kind of incorporating in mine. But after you lose all your HP on mine, like you have no HP whatsoever. You're still in the fight. You're just injured.
Yeah.
And every time someone hits you, it's a coin flip whether or not you just die.
Yeah. Yeah, the other is doing that I was thinking of was doing something similar to how Lancer's system works, the structure and the body, but then doing it luck
That's pretty much
based.
what I stole.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, you've got 2 luck points, so you've got 2 health bars essentially. Yeah. So I've been Lancer's system, I really like how they designed their character creation and like all of that stuff. So
Yeah, they got a really good system. If you haven't tried Lancer, try it out. We're actually going to be doing a one-shot Monday in person.
nice.
So I can show some friends how it runs. It's going to be fun.
Nice. Really good.
A little one-shot to introduce everyone to it.
Yeah.
We're doing like a different game system like every week. Going to try to at least, so that way they can all decide like, okay, we want to do this game for a West Marches game.
Nice. That'll be good. Get them exposed. Get
Feeling
people
Lancer
exposed to
great.
more than just D&D.
Yeah. Granted, most of these people I play with haven't played anything other than D&D, and I'm the one that introduced them.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
So I got to my brother and another friend of mine have played Lancer before, so that's going to be helping a lot, and they're open to new games. So
Yeah.
it's going to be really fun to get everyone else involved.
Good.
Oh, were we talking about something about world building?
Oh yeah, just some world building, no big deal. So we got one tension group written down.
Yeah. I mean, of course, you have just the different empires and everything, just like standard global politics and everything. Like, I don't like these people because I think they smell funny. I don't know.
I mean, this one's easy. These two are gonna fight all the time because they hate these people and these people worship these people. So
Yeah.
that's an easy. These ones are gonna always be, contentious with each other.
Yeah, the political one actually might be a little more harder to come up with because, like, man, it could just be different resources they have and everything.
Yeah.
As Americans, we don't know anything about other countries having resources that we want, but
No,
I mean, I'm
not
sure we
at
can come
all.
up with something.
That was the other one. What is it? Their belief system is they how do I say this?
An island nation that thinks that they are the only land on Earth.
That'd be pretty funny. No. Deals. Like they don't believe in gods or they don't worship anything. Their whole thing is about like the deal. Like for so they're traders, bankers. So their belief is in commerce.
So essentially, keeping your word in that society gets you up there, I'm assuming. Or falling into the wrong crowd really screws you over.
Yeah. And then the dark side of this nation is the gangs that share the belief system but don't agree with the way the bankers and the traders work. But they're really like the only. I feel like I liked the idea of like, oh, this is really the only people that we trust with our money. Like the entire world trusts these people with our money. So you need a loan. These are the people your kingdom needs a loan. This is the group that you go to. Because you know that you can make a contract with them and it'll be held.
All right. Great idols of Contractia.
Yeah. This one, these are the they worship these things, which is weird. What does that really mean? Worship the creations of some crazy old man wizard.
Well, I mean, they may not know that necessarily, and they could believe that, like, maybe their powers originate from these creatures too.
Yeah.
And they could hate anyone that believes in that creator.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's just not how it works. Or maybe they do believe in him, and they believe that he is to be their deity. That he is the one that made these creatures that gave them power.
Yeah.
Like, it could be any manner of convoluted.
Yes, it's creatures are natural. Yeah, so the alternate side of this one is 8 to 4. One of those two things exists, or maybe both of them, depending on how big this group is. What else was I thinking? I'm really liking the reincarnation now that you called it out and thinking about it. Thinking about
Thank you. I occasionally have good ideas.
the problems that the
It's
rest of
rare.
what I thought of. Because, like, what does the existence of these things mean in a world where they believe in reincarnation?
I mean, the ghouls and shades, they could just be soulless dead bodies that got touched by some sort of natural magics or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know. You put them on there, you figure that one out.
Yeah, I mean, like, generally shades are related to, like, pieces of people's souls being corrupted.
Maybe
Linger.
some locations. Yeah, they don't. Their souls don't get released properly. They're bound to an area,
Yeah.
and they really don't like that.
Yeah.
And maybe instead of the creator making that, maybe that's just something natural in the world.
Yeah.
They could have some natural monsters.
Yeah. What else? Looking at my notes. In my notebook.
Okay, something else you could look into, like what what are the technologies available?
Mhm. Yeah.
Do they have Ford Model Ones available? Like,
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I wanted horse and carriage to be normal. Is your
so like you may
normal
wield the earth, but I will the clock.
weapons wise? And it was yeah, so it's like it's kind of a hard because I was like, how do you balance what's in there versus what like uh mechanics versus story? It's like clearly like single shot or slow shooting firearms is easier to deal with.
I guess it could all that would also kind of depend on the actions you give available,
Hmm.
what a character can do per turn, regardless
Yeah.
of their abilities. For mine, I gave like you get 2 actions. You cannot repeat the same action. Here's a list of you. Here's a list of what you can do.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, like, if you want to, if you got like a 6 shooter or something, you can unload that puppy for your entire shoot action. However, every time that you fire it, it's going to be a little harder to control, so your accuracy does decrease with each shot.
Yeah.
Then for reloading, it's depending on the weapon, it's like takes 1 or 2 actions to reload.
I like that.
And again, like you can just say what's in this world, and then you can think about how the rules going to affect that when you get to that point.
Yeah.
Like if you decide, like, yeah, this is too much or whatever, remove it.
Yeah. I mean, because I think, yeah, what, sorry, rifles, revolvers, revolver. And then, I mean, and then there's what, everything under that, we've got what, bows, crossbows.
Yeah, bows and crossbows would be in Industrial Revolution. They'd be easy to recreate, or just something. Bows,
Yeah.
something that just anyone can make.
What other? Now I'm struggling to think of what ranged things exist. It's not
I mean, I'm
something you
assuming
throw at somebody.
probably like revolvers and maybe muskets and stuff. Would probably be like the very first thing that's going to be coming around.
Yeah.
Then again, like how far into the Industrial Revolution are you in? Like, maybe muskets were like the very beginning there, and they like sparked the Industrial Revolution, and then like, okay, now we have revolvers now.
Yeah. It's like the first, like, it, what? This, yeah. These are rare. The first versions are all that exist.
Yeah, because like a musket would be pretty pretty basic compared to a revolver, and also, yeah, if it hits you, yeah, you're probably not going to be feeling very good, but the chances
Mhm.
of it hitting you pretty low because it's smooth bore and all that, and then it takes forever to reload. Compared to a revolver, which could have smooth bore, but like rifling could be a thing here, where there is decent accuracy. You have several rounds to fire, and it's not too hard to reload.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like because yeah, you're right. That's a big jump. So did not realize that muskets were invented in 1465.
Yeah, and then we had stuff before that were like the precursors to that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, like the first.
Like volleys of fireworks.
Yeah. First real revolver was in 1839, 1831. That's a long time. 400 years.
Also, like black powder pistols and everything,
Mm-hmm.
about the same time as muskets. It's a musket, just shorter. So,
Yeah.
congratulations, even worse accuracy. But it would be technically a little easier to reload because it's smaller, compact. Still irritating compared to a revolver.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I need to be like time frames. If you want to play a game in this time frame, this is what you have access to. But I'm not ready to do that yet.
Yeah, I'll give yourself a general list to pick from, and then that could be up to whoever's running the game, really.
Mm.
Like I would just set your world to like, okay, here's some of the things that are going on in the world. Like here's your technology level. And if a GM or party doesn't want like access to revolvers, okay, on off revolvers.
Yeah.
Now I wouldn't get too crazy with it and have like a Beretta 50 cal or something on there.
No. No. Yeah,
It
no.
might be a little much. Like, heck, level if you're working on leveling the playing field, heck, like a really weird rocket launcher kind of thing might make sense here.
Yeah, that's what I was. So I was. Yeah, that's a good thing. I forgot to think about that. Like in a world where you have people that can do what these people can do, how would technology advance? Because it wouldn't do what we
Oh,
do.
you cast fireball, I cast rocket launcher.
Yeah, like we would have created different things to deal with the different problems.
Yeah, and considering how in our reality, we've had fire, we've had grenade launchers
Mm-hmm.
uh, during nightly times. We've also had firework volley launchers in like China.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name. It was like a what Chaka, something like that. Started with a W. Uh, but yeah, we've had that for the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
So it would make sense for this fantasy world dealing with these very different issues to come up with something like that. I mean, like a firework launcher, maybe it can go out further range, but the accuracy's lower. A grenade launcher, shorter range, but a little more precise.
Mm-hmm.
Got some different options there to look into later. Got a solid idea of where things are heading. I mean, there'd probably be some tools to counteract certain magics as well.
Yeah, definitely like I mean,
Not
yeah,
exactly
that's
sure how.
well, yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking
I
because
mean,
there's
the fire is a bit easier because we have fire-resistant materials and stuff that are naturally occurring. It's asbestos. But then again, this is before. This is just the Industrial Revolution, so they might not know that.
yeah.
Or maybe there's a safe version of it. I don't know. Yeah,
Well,
for the other ones, I'm really not sure.
yeah.
But hey, that's one counter.
Yeah, I don't have
Or counter to floor is just weed killer.
to. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because like when I've been working on the skills for the materialists, it's really like these guys, the blood guys, are the ones that are like have the most options for being combat focused because you can. That's what that is. Like you can just affect people. Like that's your entire skill set. In
Like
whichever way you
direct.
choose to use it is about people.
I mean, Flora and Earth would have a lot of control over the battlefield itself, though.
Yeah.
Flora, especially depending on the location. Like if you're in a jungle or something, oh yay, I own this land.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's a lot less like it feels like it comes across a lot less direct than the elementalists do. The blood materialist. It's like I'm not
Of
like,
course,
oh, I'm
GMs
not.
would
You're
have
not gonna
to.
just throw rocks at people.
It is going to be something for GMs to think about because if you have a Flora materialist that really wanted to go into it, and then you don't give them the opportunities to actually showcase like what they can actually do, and just like, oh yeah, you're inside of a castle, you're inside of a dungeon, you don't get any access to your Flora abilities like for most of
Yeah.
the campaign. Yeah, you're gonna feel pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like you if you stat out a character in D&D to be like, I am an undead slayer, I am a paladin who specializes in killing undead. Okay, that's great. We're gonna be fighting only goblins.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I've been thinking about too, and why I part of the mechanics of the system that I want is like elementalists can't make these things. You cannot produce fire from nothing. So you have to have a source. Whether you like, and you can make it, like if you have flint and steel, cool, spark, fire, there you go. But like, I've been trying to think about that to try and make sure that the magics are level across. Because like, oh, if you could just snap your fingers and make fire, that makes you instantly better than like Flora. Or like, I'm in a building and there's nothing here that is alive.
Yeah.
So
Also, that would like depending on situations, like yeah, someone who uses fire could be in a lot of trouble because like, oh, there's some sort of gas leak, especially with industrial revolution and everything going on. There could be some gases in certain areas that you probably don't want to
yeah,
really fight in.
you don't want to use your powers here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's in there in the mechanic side of things is at least for magics. You have to have a way to produce the thing that you manipulate. So, oh yeah, water. Carry a water flask around. You're good for a certain amount of time with a full
Now,
water
question is,
flask.
what about air?
Yeah, The air's a little
It's
trickier.
air's all around you.
No, I think that one's gonna have to end up being more uh
And then
I'll have to
also like,
balance it a different way.
and then with water, I mean, you got sweat, you got natural water in the air, you
Yeah.
got blood.
Yep.
Maybe,
There's a little bit of balancing
maybe,
that needs to be done mechanics wise, but
well, I mean, maybe instead of having 3 groups of people, maybe take it down to 2, and then on these class trees, have it to where you kind of choose like, okay, I'm going to go into water, and then I can go into more like controlling just water, or I can go into controlling like blood or something maybe.
yeah. Yeah.
Someone that's using blood powers, they might lean into more intelligence space because they want to know how the body works and everything like that. Where someone with water might not care as much for that. Like
Mm-hmm.
the progression can be pretty wild for this.
Yeah.
You can start out with some base elements, like you can start out with just fire, water, air, and earth, and then like branch into different things, and then those branches can cross into other branches. Just have a web of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That would simplify some things.
Like maybe weaker beings need a more compact source, like someone that uses fire. They require like a lantern or something.
Mm.
Someone with water needs like a little canteen. Someone with air, maybe they need a fan or something. Like they need some sort of tool.
Yeah.
And
Then,
someone that's messing with the earth might need to carry around a shovel. I don't know, or have a rock in their back pocket or something.
yeah. Yeah, because then you
And then
can
like
change
as you
that.
progress, you don't need that maybe.
Mhm. Yeah. As you specialize.
Once you get to a certain level, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I am so good at fire, I can just like snap my fingers, I can fire.
Yeah.
That really, the people that want to specialize, they stand out from people who generalize.
Mm-hmm.
The generalists, they have more options, but specialists, they can do something really good.
Yeah.
That would also narrow down some of your tensions as well, like between just to have an elementalist versus materialist versus these other guys. You're just narrowing it down easier.
Yeah. For me, like the titles and stuff, at least these two were more in-world semantics.
Just what you've specialized in, essentially.
Yeah. If you are a healer and you're doing magic, the people of the world consider you a materialist, regardless of the fact that you're all
Yeah, that
all of
makes
this
sense.
is the same magic system, essentially.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I do like the idea of combining them from a skill progression. Because that makes
So,
the back end of this a lot easier to build out. Because then that solidify or that simplifies where you would put things like, oh well, if I want to manipulate lightning, where does that fit?
yeah.
It's like it
I mean, like
depends on
maybe,
which story you think of, because like Avatar, that's a progression from fire.
I mean, for this, it could be a progression from air and fire.
Yeah,
Like if you
you could.
like, you have to have a certain amount of skill into these two, and then get that. Oh, congratulations, you can make lightning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting into flora, maybe that requires water and earth.
Yeah. Uh, specialty, not a base.
This also allows you to open up 2 more types of magic as well. A little easier.
Yeah.
Like heck, you already added water. I not water lighting.
Yeah. What'd that give you? It also makes this dude seem more plausible.
Yeah. Instead of just saying like, he's essentially some crazy avatar. It's now just some guy who's insanely strong.
He tried really hard and figured it out instead of he did something that's impossible.
Maybe some point later on, have yourself a little release of a creator archetype or something, where people can actually conjure things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I want to keep at least the whatever the base set of information is for creating a character and building it out to be about manipulating what exists, not creating new stuff.
Gotcha. But of course, as we discussed, like once you specialize enough, like you are creating something out of nothing essentially. But this guy, he was just able to specialize in everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess, yeah, more keeping it like, yeah, you can create fire by, you know, scientifically, there are a bunch of ways to create fire. Like, that makes sense. Water you can pull out of the air, out of all these plants, out of people. Like, there's a bunch of options because it exists in the world. You can manipulate it, as opposed to, oh, there's nothing here that is water at all. I just made some.
In the middle of a desert, just creating water like it's nothing.
Yeah.
That would be a big deal.
Yeah.
To a desert community, someone that can do that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Then again, like it wasn't sanitary, but like given the time and everything, it was what they had. Desert communities would dig trenches from mountains and everything, pull from aquifers and whatever, and then direct it all into these stone kind of hut kind of things. It kind of like a pyramid dome egg, and at night that would chill so far. It's so cold it would actually make ice.
Oh
So
yeah.
so desert communities actually had the ability to cool themselves down and everything. Get a cold drink. Like it's insane how they figured that out.
Yeah. Matt asked, I don't know when, because I just noticed it, if there's anything that goes boom.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I'm wondering if that was about the time I told you about the launcher because I happened to look down like right after that.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, oh,
of course.
yeah, see, Matt was asking about that.
Bombs.
Oh, we answered.
That's not really a tool, though. Let's put that up
I mean, what is a gun but a tool
here. Yeah.
to make people go ouch?
I've also, one of the other things that I've been trying to figure out how to do properly is letting the players like create combos off of each other, which is really hard in a tabletop system because like you can't have everybody do
Yeah,
stuff at the same time.
because it is very weird.
Like narratively though, it makes sense. Like you should be able to
Narratively,
work
it's
together.
pretty easy to do.
Mechanically, it's really awkward.
Yeah, because some games they do like, okay, once one side goes, the other side goes, and this bounces back and forth, or it's just like a 100% random initiative thing, or like, yeah, you might go right after your ally, or it might be you followed by the entire enemy team and then your allies.
Yeah.
So maybe that can be some sort of action, maybe like you use an action to combo with another person on their turn,
Yeah.
kind of like a ready to action essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, like technically you did anyways, but
It was that
I mean,
or
that's an option.
um, using the D&D terms, like create a set of reactions and you can do so many of them every round and have those be where you can be like, oh, this dude's gonna hit this guy with a sword, I'm going to heat up his sword so it does extra damage, or I'm gonna, you know,
Yeah,
use wind
yeah,
to make his attack stronger. Like those kinds of like little reaction things to throw
yeah.
out.
Come up with some combos too, like if someone douses someone with water and you had an action to lightning bolt them or something, like maybe that
Yeah.
does extra damage or something.
Yeah. I was thinking long term, like higher level magic wise too. If you have a person that specialized in fire and a person that specialized in air, you could make fire tornadoes together.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
But I was like,
Just give a list.
so yeah, we gotta, we
A
got,
lot of that would come down to the GM and the players agreeing to what is possible. I think giving players and a GM like a lot of agency in this kind of thing is pretty neat,
yeah.
especially once it gets to the higher level stuff because they'll be a little more comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, and the GM can be like, "Hey, just remember, if you guys can do it, the enemies can too.
Yeah.
So be careful on what you want because if you summon a fire tornado, there's an opportunity that someone else out there could do it too."
Yeah. There's also the like, cool, you made it. That doesn't mean that you're immune to it.
Yeah.
So if it goes off course, what are you gonna do about it?
It, it, both then again, like you can offer like, yeah, you guys can control it. It's a very devastating attack. It is insanely powerful. It costs a lot of whatever resource you're using.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, like you guys have this ability. That means it's part of the world. That means NPCs can use it against you.
Yeah.
Or have something similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you summon a fire tornado, a bunch of air guys just summoned a hurricane.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even at the low levels, yeah, like not low levels, but in thinking about including the normies in, like if you've got a dude that's got like metal bolas and a dude that's got electricity. Oh, look, you made a taser essentially. If you work together.
Or they can get some spicy balls in those bolas.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's a lot of options
Okay.
for combos in a system like
Yeah.
this. I just need to figure out how to.
Of course, that's going to give some examples and like some ground rules for certain things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was thinking, like, if you did it the reaction way, you can go, okay, well, if you specialize in this, you can do this to these kinds of things on when these kinds of things happen. Like, you can be very specific about when you can use each of those skills, reaction skills that you've created. Or you do it, narratively and go, here, you could do whatever you want. Here's some guidelines on how it should work.
I mean, it's essentially in D&D terms, it's essentially using like magic weapon as an action or reaction to give a bonus to another player.
Yeah.
Which isn't anything crazy, really.
Yeah. Well, and that's like
I mean, you're using the resources to get to that point.
Yeah. I was thinking, what the Drake Warden Ranger gets an ability to add, as a reaction to add their elemental damage to someone's attack. Like, so that already exists. It makes sense. It works. So, yeah, that's kind of where I started with. That's where I got the idea of trying to do the reaction-based stuff off of, was from what already exists in D&D.
Stealing is good.
I mean, yeah, sure. Don't steal, kids. It's bad for your health. What else? Quotes.
So what kind, to kind of get a sense of scale, what kind of travel are we dealing with? You said horse and carriage is still commonplace.
Yeah.
Are there engines at all?
I was thinking about that. I had envisioned like the idea of trains being like just starting. Like, oh, we're gonna create this railway. We've got this giant thing that pulls cars that you can put people in. It's like, it's unwieldy and costly.
So trains and maybe some larger ships.
Yeah.
I mean, also depending on how you want to go about it, war engines like prototype tanks and stuff.
Yeah.
Granted, they wouldn't be doing much aside from maybe having one big gun aimed at one direction, hoping that the enemy falls in line, and then they carries troops fairly reliably.
Yeah. But the idea of tanks being a response to elementalists seems valid.
Yeah.
Let's create a giant armored thing that'll protect whoever's in it and also has some offensive capabilities.
Yeah, because I mean, someone who's manipulating blood, they're not going to see the person to know what they're doing exactly.
Yeah.
Someone with earth abilities, like, yeah, I might be able to manipulate the earth to slow it down or stop it. Yeah. Uh,
Hmm.
Someone that's dealing with flora, I'm probably not going to do much.
Yeah.
Someone with fire, not going to do much, especially depending, like, oh, you're not a very strong fire caster. You're just chucking little fire bolts at them. Not going to do much. Water, someone that's not, again, lower ranking people of that nature aren't going to be able to hurt you at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, big armor thing, really good. Anyways, talking about mechs now.
I think that's a little too far.
Okay, AC 130.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Let's step it down just a little bit, okay?
the the other thing that is interesting to me, why I think I like the idea of all of these types of things being really rare, is because you have the elementalists, like an air elementalist. If they worked on a boat, you could go anywhere.
Yeah.
You wouldn't need to think about how do I get places if I don't have wind.
Yeah, like, you can either have an air elementalist there to push your sails, or you can have, or
Yeah,
water
explore.
elementalist to move the ship.
Yeah.
Like,
So
how do the normies get along? They build a ship with
mm-hmm.
an engine in it.
Yeah. Or you hire a crew that has one of those things, or yeah, like
Exactly.
it gives regular job opportunities to elementalists, as well as it explains why maybe there aren't very many engined based things
Like,
right now.
with them just emerging and everything, like, yeah, there's only going to be like a few engineers and stuff that actually work on those things, and
Mm-hmm.
they would definitely be very privatized, most likely.
Yeah.
Because they're still early on, very expensive. Like, the railways are going to be very well managed, I'm sure.
Yeah. And
Now, morally managed, I don't know, given our own history, but
yeah.
ignoring that.
Well, it's also the railways are a good like political point too. It's like cool, yeah, you could
Yeah.
have a inter-kingdom. That's not super useful. Cross
If,
kingdom more
like,
so.
if you have a place like the United States, like, being able to get a bunch of stuff from one side of the country to the other side of the continent
Yeah.
pretty fast and in bulk,
Mm-hmm.
that's really good. And if you got enemies around you, then being able to transport that stuff to and from, be able to transport soldiers and all that
Mm-hmm.
very easily to any destination pretty quickly, that could spark some intimidation.
Yeah. I like it.
A lot of things, there's something horrible to it, but there can always be that good thing, or there's a good thing, and there's always that bit of, okay, but what if it's used for this kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
like nuclear bombs,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
like we can go nuclear energy, or we can do some more crimes. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I was thinking. So the other one that we haven't touched on is air, and I don't know what what did we make. What did we make first?
What?
Like,
I mean, I'm assuming, like, biplanes, just kind of even things out, just to add a little bit more whimsy to it. Because I'm assuming, like, probably people that are manipulating the air can probably fly around at some point, or use fans and stuff to fly. So it
yeah,
makes sense for someone to come up with a biplane or something. I mean, maybe it's not an engine biplane. Maybe it does require someone with Earth elemental powers, but they can. But it's a biplane, so it allows them to carry like maybe a couple people with them or some supplies.
Yeah.
And maybe some people are working on making it engined.
Looks like balloons. In our history, balloons were the first thing.
Hot air balloons, yeah.
Hot air balloons and then blimps and airships.
That'd be a pretty cool one to throw on there. Let the party take a hot air balloon ride around the world.
I like the elementalist. I like that idea.
Heck, maybe there's some air elementalists that are actually assisting with creating engine biplanes. Like, so like, here's how the air works, and here's our test flights without the engine and everything to make sure that it's going to go properly.
Yeah.
And slap an engine onto whatever they're working on, and boom. That alone, having like two air elementalists with a decent sized biplane or something, transporting supplies and stuff to places that might not be able to get them quickly or whatever. I mean, that alone's world changing.
Yeah.
Kind of like the trains.
Recon alone.
Yeah.
From like a
From
strategy standpoint, I was like, if you could fly over your enemies.
I was thinking of the good people could do, but yeah, you can go that way.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying, there's both sides of that work. Like, if you could,
yeah, exactly,
figure out where your enemies are hanging out.
I mean, we can transport people or items, or we can watch people and items.
yeah.
Then again, your anti-aircraft units, you might not need guns. You just need someone who's good with air power.
Let's just crash that plane.
There's yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and just take it down to the ground.
Yeah.
Like that alone could be some sort of check battle right there. Like, say a player is using a biplane to scout over, and like they get seen by a powerful air elementalist, and like it turns into a series of checks to see who's the better air handler.
Yeah. I like that. What else? Say, are we missing anything that defines the time period properly?
I mean, we got a good idea of the technology, how people get around, and given the fact that we have trains and ships and stuff like that, that gives a good sense of scale. Like, yeah, this is definitely world spanning. You issued some of the cultures, you got some of the tensions that could arise between those different cultures and the people and all that stuff.
Yeah.
political tensions. I mean, I think I think this is a good base for you to start from.
Mm-hmm.
I think just look into each of these things more in depth, and eventually you'll have something solid.
Yeah. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot to write for these guys.
Only a little.
Find all of the different things and their histories, and or at least some of their histories. Cool. Well, I think that's probably a good place to stop today.
Yeah.
I appreciate
If you
your
want
help.
to, if you have any questions and just want to spitball anything, I'm here for it. If you want to have another stream like this, I'm for it. If you want to look at what I'm writing for my Western RPG and steal some of that stuff, by all means, I'll help you out with it.
Yeah, I've got to read through your thing, and then Matt sent me a giant essay of all of the stuff that he's been doing for a project he's been working on. So I've got a lot of reading to do.
Maybe we should just work on something together.
Yeah,
Screw that.
I don't
Who
I
works
don't
together?
entirely know what he's doing, but he's been putting in a lot of work from what
I
I can see.
I don't think I've seen that. Have you seen that in our Discord, or do you send that to you privately?
He sent it just to me. Yeah.
Ah.
Ask him about it. He
Yeah, I'll ask him.
he has thought about a lot of stuff. There's a lot.
Sure, I'll definitely ask him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is definitely a good point for me to get off. I need to get some food and then probably do other things.
Wonderful.
Like laundry.
Yay. Well, have fun. Thank you for hanging out today.
Yeah.
Thanks to
But I can help
everybody
you
who
with your
showed
world
up.
building and stuff.
Yeah. This
Hopefully,
helps a lot.
yeah. It really does help spitballing with someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not just talking to yourself in the dark.
Yeah, it's been how one of my worlds has been pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, I'm bored. I'm just gonna start writing on this thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how most of mine has been too.
Thank you for inviting me to this.
Yeah.
I look forward to any help I can offer in the future.
Good. I will be asking, I'm sure.
I'll definitely be asking Matt the insanity he's come up with.
Yeah, do it. Oh my god, it's a lot. I've read the first couple messages and that's it.
Let me send a message. Hey, my guy, Chris mentioned you're working on. Is it a world, or is it what?
He said he's been doing world building for a book he's writing. So he just sent me like all of his notes.
So Chris mentioned you're working on a book in the world, huh?
Yeah,
There we go.
it's a
I'm
lot.
sure he'll get back to me later.
It looks good. It's a lot to read. So,
Oh, there he goes. He's checking it out now.
Of course. I will probably be back tomorrow with some games because I finally feel like I can go more than a couple minutes without coughing. So I'll start streaming again.
And if nothing too crazy happens with me, I might be able to join you. We'll see. I could be also preparing for the One Shot Monday that I've barely touched.
Yeah, it's okay.
Maybe I'll just sit in there and just make fun of you as you're playing and work on my own thing. We'll see.
Yeah, that'd be good. And then I think Matt's probably still doing his vampire read-along game. I don't remember which one that he's playing, but
I can't remember either.
Been doing a chapter every Monday, so.
Or reading.
Maybe something next Saturday.
He's been typing a while.
Yeah.
Well, you enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Get better, and I'm gonna go figure out what I need to do.
Good. Okay. Adios, everybody.
Bye. Oh, paalam. That's Philippine.
Nice.